Hello,
Hello!
everybody.
Ciao, ciao! Buongiorno!
Buongiorno.
Buonasera to you.
Yes, buonasera to those in Australia. Welcome, guys, to our webinar tonight. We ran one about a month ago.
Yes.
And we thought it was so popular and oversubscribed, just like this one. And we thought we'd come to you once again. But before we get started, we want to make sure we are coming through clear. You can see our webcam and you can see our PowerPoint. So let's get a few comments happening. Here we go. Vicky, yes, we will be sending the recording to attendees, and the recording that we did also last month,
Yes,
we will put that in an email. So my husband Stuart over in Australia is sitting there waiting for this webinar to finish, to upload it up on YouTube, and then to actually get it sent out to you guys, including the video for the first webinar.
which is all new content.
Brand new content.
Brand new content for you.
So it's kind of, we've been a little bit tricky because we are doing a series of 3 for you, but we didn't announce it that way. And today is going to fill in the gaps for the second lot of information that we didn't reveal last time.
Yeah.
Let's see a few comments. Hey, Joel, you can hear us, see us.
Hi, Amy.
Of course, probably in Italy we have wonderful internet here.
Yes.
Unlike Australia, that don't allow us to really live stream and do all sorts of things. So I think this call will be flawless. Lovely ladies. Hey, Amy, Christina, camera, all perfect. Coming through. Of course it's going to be perfect.
It's Italy, Italia.
Italia, bellissimo, right?
I was talking to my assistant this morning and she said my voice, my accent is already stronger. I said, I haven't even started.
And we both looked so relaxed. I literally have put makeup on top of a salty face because when I arrived back from the beach, as you saw me earlier today, she said, you got to put some makeup on. I go, okay, I'll put it over the top of the salt. Hey, Jenny, nice to see you, and Greg. So, guys, come sta bene? Okay, so we are just deleting some of the comments so we can keep the question box clear. So make sure that you're only typing up comments in the question box and not the chat box, because we were chit-chatting with a couple of you privately in the chat box before we came on live, but now we want to just be receiving questions in the question box because we'll keep the chat box sort of hidden away and we'll only keep the questions box open.
Yes, and as you know, we love interaction, so we love questions and we are more than happy to answer any questions. So throw them.
And we talk very fast. So what we'll ensure is that we cover the content in the first 15 minutes and stop for comments and questions and things like that. Yes. But of course, at the other end, we're happy to stick around for extra 10, 15 minutes, however long it takes to handle any questions at the other end as well. So that's how it's going to go. Francesca is very Bella Italian.
Oh,
thank you, Jenny. Jenny's coming to do our November retreat.
So soon. Cool.
Yes, yeah. Awesome.
I just want to let everyone know I'm sick, so that's why my voice sounds even more Italian and difficult to understand. We got a competition on Facebook on guess how many times I will cough or sneeze or leave the room because I need to cough and sneeze.
So we have a strategy here that if she starts needing to cough, she might have to go into the bathroom, then I'll just take over. So let's see.
21. There you go. I just had one, so there you go.
Yeah.
20 to go.
She's actually in good spirits today. Yesterday she was like dead. And yeah.
18.
Okay. Well, you guys, someone at the other end do the strokes as to how many, because we will be focusing on the content.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much for joining us and being here today. And how we want to open up is, of course, last month we delivered a little bit of information, or a lot, and there's so much depth around this. This is why we teach it many times over and in so much depth. But last month when we did the webinar, which you'll get a recording of, we went through our 12-step system. Has tribal following, which is we covered off Meetup in terms of how to run your live events and the power of building a community.
Yes. Then we cover the ship effect, which is one of my strategies that you use as well, to fill up your events and give the impression that there's a lot of people coming already before you have many there, which is really cool.
Yep. Then we talked about collaborations and multiple efforts and how you use your collaborative partners to fill up your events with more people that already trust you and like you, and pretty much go on a recommendation from the other person.
Yes, share your network. And then profitable speaking, which is, finding a lot of speaking gigs and get, a lot of business from speaking engagements as well, which is a lot of people struggle with.
Yeah, absolutely. So if you missed that and you haven't, they weren't there last month, we will put this link of that particular webinar in the email follow-up, which will have the link of this one plus that one, so you guys can catch up on what already happened.
How cool.
Today, what we want to go through with you guys is engaging emails, okay, and how you use those to get more bums on seats.
This is so powerful. I haven't used them until I met Natasa, and she used to talk about this when we were recording our online course, and I was like, ooh, maybe I should try. And you wouldn't believe it, I got so much business from it. So stay tuned and listen to this
for that one. Then we're going to go through Facebook impact. So how do you use Facebook? And you guys have been following our journey traveling here. My mum said it felt like we were traveling for a week with all the little updates from all the different airports and things like that. And how do you use Facebook to have an impact within the live room? So how do you get people online to offline in your rooms, in line with some of the other activities that you're using? Then we've got
Raving fans. So how to have people to keep following you and keep, being a Raving fan, and they are going to help you bring more clients to your business. So it's about nurturing and giving a lot to your clients. And we always have bonuses and special discounts, and stay tuned. We'll share more tips later.
Awesome. And the last bit we're going to cover off today is scaling up. So scaling up in terms of, well, once you've got maybe tapped into your warm network and you've been filling your rooms regularly, like Francesca has over the first couple of years, and I took about 3 or 4 years to get to this point of scaling up. But really, how do you then go into the cold marketplace where people don't know you from a bar of soap, and how do you scale up? But so the key strategy here is Facebook advertising, and we're going to talk about the do's and don'ts around what it is that you need to consider, and when do you know that you're ready to do and take that next level of promotion to get more bums on seats. The last 4 strategies in our system go into preparation and then profiting, which is easy done, famous clicker, sponsor power, and top dollar. And of course, obviously, it's not a secret that we are going to talk about those
next month.
In a month's time.
Yes.
So stay tuned, and Stuart will email out an invitation for that. I think it's pretty much exactly in a month from now that we'll be hosting that one. So because there's so much we wanted to share, we thought we wouldn't do it justice if we just flew through all 12. We wanted to give you enough value in each of the topics. So strap yourself in and let's get into the first one. I'll just see a couple of comments. Thank you, ladies. That's wonderful of you to put a link up from last month. Awesome. Yeah, of course. By the end of it, you'll have a little mini online course that you've been through. Yes. Having got the letter Jenny. All right, let's go. So I'll let Francesca talk a little bit about her tips around engaging emails, because we always bring in a variety. That's a cough. You've got to put a stroke for that one. We always bring in a variety of tips from our own personal experiences. This is why coming together, it's a powerhouse of bums on seats and filling events, because she has got her gold, I have mine, and then we've got our combined gold that we do together. So tell us what you do with emails.
So emails, until I met Natasa, as I said, I wasn't really emailing people too much because I didn't want to annoy everyone, and I just had this problem that I had to overcome.
Your own limiting belief.
I know. And now I overcome it, and actually people love all the information. But when I wanted to fill up my events and I was struggling with numbers, I would contact people like Natasa, anyone that I was doing a joint venture with, and say, hey, are you sending an email out this week? And they will say, yes, I've got a newsletter on this day. And I'll be like, okay, perfect. So can you please share this link? And of course, there is a deal. If anyone books from her link, they will get, an affiliate commission or whatever it is. So you tap in someone else's network, and for them, they're offering to the clients a little bit of variety. So they don't sell always the same things. And for me, that was really helpful because it actually helped me a lot to fill up events and workshops as well. And then when I started to do my own emails, it was important to be consistent. If you do one, in one a month or one every 2 months, is not enough. It's really good to be consistent. And I find, because that's how I run, I don't really like to read. I'm very short and just get to the point. So I don't really enjoy the too long emails. So for me, like short emails and to the point, and maybe with the video, something that is a little bit more interacting, that people can look into it and just play a video while they while they, wash the dishes or whatever, so they can still listen to your content without having to sit there and read. I'm very like that. I don't really like to sit and read. I'm more of a listener. Yeah, I like that better. So for me, that would really work really well. But you have massive strategy on email. Go
yes. Well, really, my husband Stuart is now the behind the scenes, and he's our email marketer, if you like. So if you do get emails from us, it's most likely Stuart channeling my thoughts and ideas around this. But what you said before, like emails from collaborators, if I can just expand on that a little bit, is you have to be careful. I mean, you can't just go to someone and go, oh, look, we've got a complimentary service, and would you mind emailing your clients about this event that I have coming up? Most people will not let you near their email list unless they love you, they've checked you out, and they fully would endorse what you do. So just like joint ventures, you need to have built so much rapport with that person that, like Francesca and I, we kind of part of each other's families fully now that I've met Italian families.
We're real sisters.
Yes, we're real sisters. So you have to really have that huge rapport with the other person, and for them to love your content, for you to love theirs, and to just really go, of course I want to tell the world about this person and what they've got to do.
It's like dating.
Exactly. And otherwise people will not send anything. They're very protective of their email list, and so should you be as well. So don't you have to have checked out the people, because they're a reflection of who you are recommending as an event to those other people. So that's what I would say. And you're right, every person has a different modality of how they like to receive information. So sending, visuals, video, audio, whatever it is that, mixing it up is important. But one thing that I have seen and modeled from a lot of successful entrepreneurs is that you don't necessarily have to have a lot of visual, kind of freeing it up as much, because I have seen that the most successful entrepreneurs out there just have text stuff, and they're very good at what my first point is on this slide is their sexy subject lines. So sexy subject lines are something that stop people in their tracks and go, I want to open this email, because 98% of emails will just go delete, 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 delete.
Yeah.
So what is a sexy subject line? Well, something that will make people curious. And something that I read a little while ago, the most opened subject line out there in the world is bad news, ... right? And it's like, well, humans are 70% geared to the negative, and they love drama. So they, that's apparently the most open subject line. Thank you is another one that gets opened quite a lot. Now, these are simple ones, but for example, a year ago, I was coming back from Perth to Adelaide, and there was a mid-flight emergency where someone nearly died, and I had to cancel an event. But then Stuart saw a story in that to share with our database. So he made the subject line be near-death experience at 40,000, or it was mid-flight emergency at 40,000 feet. And of course, I mean, everyone wants to open that up. So asking a question, that's really, really engaging. So very, very much think about your opening lines. This applies also for when you live stream. What are you going to put as your title before you live stream? Because that's why people will decide, am I going to spend my time, my valuable time watching this live stream? Same thing, am I going to spend my valuable time reading this email, or is this email please just don't go monthly newsletter, a 15. People still do that though.
Really?
Yes, they still do it. So sexy subject lines are an absolute must. Now, number 2 tip is that if you have an event coming up, you have to have multiple sequences of emails. You can't just announce it once, which is a problem and a mistake that I made in the early days. It's like I've advertised my event, and then I'll go sit back and wait for bookings to come. If I was lucky, I'd get one, and then nothing would happen. Like, no one wants to come to my event. Until I realized actually that people need to have multiple touch points and interesting content, and why the hell should I attend this event? Not 5 sequences of emails where you go, come to my event, my event's coming up, tickets are running out, all that kind of stuff. It kind of sucks, and people they won't even read it. How about you tell a story? So these 5 sequences could be like what you sometimes do is you announce who potentially the speaker is. If you're hosting an event with a speaker, you announce what the topic will be. Little
lucky draw prizes.
Sponsors. Do you want to win this on the night, or something about the sponsors, or some quirky little story that you can share. And realistically, you don't have to even make the email about the event. You can only have the event in the PS. P.S. Our next event's coming up here, here. Like, you don't even have to pitch the event and all the copy. You can actually just tell the wonderful story, tell the valuable information, and then it's only in the PS. You can say, go here, or you can have a few words hyperlinked where people can find out about your event.
Yeah, that's a really good point.
And the last one is, I guess I talked through that, tell through stories and not through a pitch. Yeah. So this similar thing applies. I'm going to talk about Facebook next. But the similar posts and promotions of your events around Facebook will include the similar strategies we just shared. So if there's any questions or comments about engaging emails, do post them up. But I guess a common question that always comes up from people that I come in contact with is like, how many emails is too much and what's too little? And there is no answer to that. There is no answer, because I receive emails from a person that I know 3 times a day, and I follow their stuff and their information. Sometimes I read stuff and sometimes I don't, but sometimes some grabby, sexy subject lines get me to read through, and then I get exposed to the information. I think a rule of thumb, no less than once a week. No less than once a week, because you want to stay top of mind. My, I guess, maybe sweet spot lies between 3 to 4 times a week. Yeah, I would say. And ensuring that the things that I'm talking about are, not clashing with each other. They're a little bit different. So you're not sort of kind of saying the same thing. And whatever promotions I have coming up, they're well planned. So just like you have to plan your year of events in advance, you also have to plan your email sequences of what day are people going to get told about a certain thing, and what other day are they going to talk about another thing without having overlaps. Michelle's got a question: how do you generate your topics? Just intuition. Yeah, Michelle, we look at, and Stuart, because does a lot of our emails, he observes what I do and the certain things that happen to me day to day, and he finds a little angle and I guess a newsworthy story around that, and then just tells the story around that. Sometimes he might go back to something that worked really well in the past and can retell a story because people don't remember stuff. And it's just from daily life almost that we use the inspiration.
And also sometimes from the questions that your clients ask you frequently, you would I usually have like a note on my iPhone with like ideas, and every time people ask me a question, Francesca, how do you do that? You do that so well. That would be my next talk, webinar, email, whatever.
People ask lots of stuff, and this question about how often do you send emails to your list, well, that's such a huge topic in question, and everyone's got a different opinion on it.
Yeah.
But one thing I'm going to say is, don't worry about unsubscribes. Don't worry about people complaining on your CRM. Complaints and unsubscribes mean that you're doing enough marketing.
Yes.
Because it's actually a positive thing, and you're keeping your list clean. And it's okay to piss off some people, because we're not here to make everyone like us, even though deep down as human beings, especially us, to have a deep desire to be liked. But, it's not possible, and it's okay to polarize and leave people who don't like you just be outside of your circle, and others who love you follow everything you do. Like, we have so many Raveing fans that are on this call today, that, they're the people we want to serve. We're not here to serve every single person on this earth. We don't have the same values and beliefs as them, and vice versa.
So you have to listen to that. That's a really good point. If you're not getting complaints, you're not pushing yourself.
Marketing.
Yeah, and you're pushing yourself out of your comfort zone enough.
Cool. All right. Facebook.
All right. So Facebook, obviously, as you know, it's our favorite platform. We're always very active on it. And I started at the beginning to be very active on 3 different groups. And one of them will be right now Natasa's group, which is the Ultimate Business Support, which got 13,000 members nearly. And my one now is Entrepreneurs Abundance Mindset, and it's got nearly 3,000. and you choose another one, whatever you are in Australia. And Facebook groups are really important to create trust and get people to see you every day. And it's not about just going on the day of promotion and just be active on that day. It's about make sure that you build trust. So every day, post something, give some value, do a video. Now you can also do video live videos on groups. Yeah. So it's really important to be active on 3 groups. And what I have done is I'm active for a month on 3 groups, and when I've got enough trust, I go somewhere else. Yeah. And like I choose another group, so then I'm active in another group again. So it's really cool how that helped me to create more trust in a variety of different groups. And then I put my VA to post on the group that I built trust already for like a month. So I still got trust and I can just promote. And then I go back to those 3 groups originally and I build trust again. Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So that really helped me to build a lot of trust. And then the Facebook post strategies is, as you realize, this is a really good one. It's my favorite one. As you realize, on Facebook groups, you can be at the top of a group if someone comments on it. So when you post something, your post will slowly go down as people post new things. Yeah. So then once someone comments on your post, you go back at the top.
Yeah.
And then what I do, instead of reply straight away to that person and say thank you or whatever they're asking or whatever they're saying, I just wait until my post goes back down. And then when it's time that it's a lot of people on Facebook, I go, boom, I've replied to the comment and that boosts my post again. This is a little strategy that works so well for me. And people usually say, but how do you gotta be on Facebook all day? I said, no, because I just know that people are on Facebook around 7 a.m., around 12 p.m. for the break, and then around
8 o'clock now.
7 p.m., 8 p.m. at night, depending on who is your target market. I think you've got more mums than maybe later at 8 and 9. So around that time, I go back into those groups and I just reply to the comments. So I'll go back at the top, which is really cool. And then, of course, what we both have done is start your own community on Facebook, which is the groups that I just told you at the beginning, which is really good for you to build trust.
Be a leader.
Be seen as, even like as a position. When you say I've got a group of 13,000 people or I've got a group of 3,000 people, people go, oh, really? So they already position yourself as an expert because of that.
Incredible, yeah.
Yeah, we've got a couple of questions.
Amy's got, do you both use your own personal page for business posts? I'm currently trying to keep them separate, but feel maybe I'm missing opportunity. What do you girls think? Yes. Question is flat out, yes. Our life does not differ. It's a cough. Our life does not differ from business and personal. We share all of us. We believe that what our purpose and vision is that there's nothing, the way you see us now is the way it is that when we're privately hanging out, or how we are with our families, or, all the things that we say and talk about that have no difference of how I would say or teach it to my child that I would teach it to my audience. And I think people want to know us deeply, to build that deep trust and rapport. And you cannot, in a group, be a business page. One thing you guys may or may not know is that in a group, you have to be your personal profile. And so, therefore, you cannot post just as your business. Again, the only way you will get cut through with fan pages, because they don't get a lot of exposure and reach, is if you're paying for the right to have that exposure, which is where we're going to talk about Facebook advertising a little bit later on. Let's have a look at the second question. Can you give an example of the type of Facebook groups?
Yes. So as I said at the beginning, Ultimate Business Support, that's Natasa. Entrepreneurs, Abundance Mindset is mine. Business to business.
Depends where your target market is, I guess. Like if for us, we're small business owners and solopreneurs and entrepreneurs. So we look for those types of groups. For example, I have an author, Katrina, and maybe she's on the call. I don't know. There's way too many people on the call to work out if she's there. But she is a mentor of bookkeepers. She used to be a bookkeeper herself. She wrote a book on how bookkeepers can grow their businesses, and now she started her own. I think it's called Bookkeepers HQ. I'm not sure 100% that's her own community, but then she can go hang out with other bookkeeping, where bookkeepers hang out communities. So she could put that to search out groups. So she would go into that area. So, I believe, think about who your target market is and what kind of groups would they hang out in.
Yes.
That's how it goes.
I know how you can do it. You just search at the top and then you click on groups, and that's how you can find all the groups on Facebook.
And then Facebook will start recommending similar groups to you, and you can check those out as well.
Yes.
Yeah, love it. All right, so how I started so just with my tips, and you're welcome both ladies. I'm glad you asked those questions. There's just thank yous and stuff coming through. Okay, cool. So how do you start your own group? Well, of course, you want to attract as many people as possible, but when you start a group, you really start with one person and a second person. In order to start a group, you have to have one other person that's been invited to that group.
Yeah.
And of course, you do your partner, or I would do Francesca and all that sort of stuff. But really, you want to have at least some significant number of people there, so other people will want to join it and go, oh, something's happening, right? So most
the
people,
the
sheep effect, right? So people go, okay, there's people here, I want to stay, right? So when you see an empty restaurant out there and a full one, which one are you going to choose to eat dinner at the full one, right?
So true.
Yeah. Ooh, I love that little metaphor I just came up with. Okay, so what I did is I announced to my inner circle and people who are my paying clients and close network is that, hey, I'm going to start this group and I'm going to add you into it. And so that, we can start a community so we can have other people coming in. And so when I started it, I had a couple of thousand friends, so I actually added about 300 to 400 people into the Ultimate Business Support group to start off with. The second thing, which a lot of people think I came up with this idea, but I didn't. I actually modeled it off someone else. The theme days, you see them everywhere all over Facebook because they give people that guidance of what to post. And even myself, it helps me when I have to go into my group and come up with a post.
Yeah.
So theme days are really good to have in your groups as to encourage higher engagement. I used to run competitions on giving away my book for other people who referred other people into my group. And this is how Ultimate Business Support got to 13,000 members. But again, guys, it wasn't an overnight thing. Ultimate Business Support has been around for 3.5 years. That's a long time to be managing, to be nurturing, to be supporting, to be adding value. So, but it is a platform that's allowed me then to run events offline. So the Ultimate Business Support groups in Melbourne, in Sydney, in Adelaide run live. If you don't know, when they run, they're in the top pinned post of that particular page, and people come there to, they feel like their second lounge room, their online lounge room, and it's about community, it's about having a tribe, and that's what's the most important thing. And that tribe will then see your events that you're running, and they'll come to your other things that you have happening. And the power of being positioned as a leader and having a group is about taking responsibility. After all, it's the people who take the most responsibility in life, like run their own events, set up their own Facebook groups, build their own business, create their own product. They're the ones that other people look up to because they kind of go, well, they know other people know how hard it is to do that. But when you take the responsibility, you also have the most power. You also have the most influence, and you also have the most sales because people see you in that position of leadership.
Absolutely.
So do we recommend a closed or a secret group from Fred? That's a question here. Do you want to
I would say open until you got a big number. So again, the ship effect. So if you keep it closed, it's going to be hard for people to see that there is a lot of people in the group. So it's going to be harder for you to add more people. But if you keep it open, all your friends will be able to see that you're posting on this group. They're going to go in and check it out. You can also leave a post.
For a little while open,
Yeah, so I left it open until like 1,500 people.
Okay. And ours was open to begin with. And then we made it closed, I think 6 or 12 months in.
Yeah.
And then secret groups are only good for paying communities. So I have got an author secret group, I've got an inner circle, and we've got our Bums on Seats tribe secret group. That's where no one can find them. Only our paying clients are hanging out in there. And no one can see outside of that because, of course, if people want to be really private, like Amy was mentioning before, if she puts something in that authors group, it's going to just stay there. No one will be able to see it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. And going back to the question about are you using your personal profile?
Yeah.
If you don't have enough friends on Facebook, if you start a group, you cannot add anyone unless they're friends. So it's really important to grow your number of friends And we're not saying to sell on your personal profile because you're not really allowed to, but it's more about building that trust and that friendship with your clients, which is really important and will take your business to the next level.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. So let's keep going, guys. Next strategy is raving fans.
Yes.
Yeah.
So it's really important that at the beginning, I didn't know how to do this, right? 2 years ago, I was lost and I was going, I don't know, I need to put this mask on and be like professional because if not, people won't take me seriously. And then all of a sudden, I realized that actually people that are doing the best are the ones that don't have a mask. They have themselves. The people that, show all the side of their lives and all that. So for me, it was really good revelation because I went, I don't need to be perfect. My English doesn't need to be perfect. I just need to be me. I can be the Italian crazy woman that I am, and it's fine. And since I did that, actually, I got a lot of more people following me, a lot of more raving fans. And I realized that it's really powerful. So letting your clients in and be yourself, it's what you need to do. And if you're shy, do it in a shy way. It's perfect. It's just you're perfect the way you are. So it's really cool. And it's a release. Like you just have to be you, which is really cool. And the other point is to create raving fans. You have to give. You can't expect people to be a raving fan. You can't expect people to ask you questions. You can't expect people to follow you if you don't give any value, any real value. If we keep doing posts on, I'll just show you around and don't say anything important, anything valuable, people will stop following you eventually because it's a waste of their time. But it's important that you give a lot. And one of the fears of a lot of my clients is say, but if I give all my information, then what they're going to pay for? They're going to stick around for free stuff. And it's not true. It's actually the opposite. The more you give, the more people want to pay you for. So it's really cool.
Yeah, I love it.
And then the last one, sorry.
Yeah.
I'll go one more before I got a cough. And the last one is offer discounts to events. So make sure that you help your tribe and you make them feel special. So as Natasha said, we both have some secret groups. And every time I've got an event, every time I've got something that even I do with Natasha, I always have a special price for my tribe. So I always go in those groups and say, hey guys, we're going to this event, we're running this workshop, whatever it is, you guys get a discount. So they makes them feel special and makes them feel loved and makes them feel very lucky to be part of your tribe.
Inner circle.
Yes.
I love it.
Go sis, I'll be
Yeah.
back.
She's going to cough. Count how many times. Okay. So my tips around raving fans are to ensure that you start to notice, sometimes when you begin, there's no raving fans. There is just you and the crickets. And so, but you'll start to notice people liking your posts or, who come to your events, they connect with you and they engage with you and all that sort of stuff. So over a period of time, you will notice who those people are. And it's really good to ask for help. So raving fans can become awesome crew at your events because when you don't have crew, you agree, you wouldn't look quite as professional and big time.
Sure.
Yeah, because crew is what makes you look like, oh, wow, she's got other people helping her there. Now, that's awesome help. This is how you give back to your raving fans as well. An example of this is James. James came back and crewed for the fourth retreat. This was his fourth retreat. Kylie came back. This was her second retreat. And through that retreat, they absolutely received amazing value because they learned the information again. Again, when you hear one lot of information, you only really retain only 10% of what's being told. But when you actually come back and relearn it again, you're getting more value and you're picking up different insights. So asking people for crew is not being selfish or that you're taking, you're actually giving, and that's a way of giving back to people. And those people also are your biggest people who endorse what you do. By endorsing what you do, other people go, okay, well, they've been on the journey, they're back, they're obviously loving this, and that's why they've returned multiple times. And this is how Tony Robbins and Kerwin Ray and all those people who are, in 8-figure businesses and all that have so many volunteers. Most of these volunteers, they don't get paid for their crewing. They're attending $5,000, $6,000, $10,000 programs and more, complimentary. But how they give back is in terms of helping out, and it can really give you an amazing insight. So if you want to do, if you're fresh in doing events, I suggest also crewing for other people. So we've crewed for each other. A lot of my clients who do their own events have crewed for me, and then they get to see behind the scenes. Because I had one of the authors just at the retreat the other week. She goes, Nat, the retreat was amazing for writing my first book, but also it's given me an insight of what I need to do when I need to run my own retreats, and what happens behind the scenes. And so that was really awesome. Second point there is hang out socially with them. Because you're not going to be able to hang out socially with absolutely everyone. But if it's location possible, like we do, like right now, we're totally hanging out socially. Do you think that's going to build our bond more and more? Because what Francesca and I not only do is say promote to each other's, like if we email each other's databases for each other, we find each other podcast interviews. So if she gets interviewed, she recommends me to the guy who interviewed her. I do the same. We find each other speaking gigs. So collaborations, like she's my Raveing fan, I'm her Raveing fan at the same time as we are joint venture partners. And that opens up so many extra opportunities of people who would have never heard from me, never heard from her, but also our own communities or our own clients. They automatically go, well, your stuff really works because look at Francesca. She's written 2 books in 5 months and she's done X, Y, and Z. And all of a sudden, that's just social proof for other people that you're doing well. Therefore, they come to your events. And the last point is exactly that. Collaborate with one. So your Raveing fans also, because some of your clients who grow and succeed because they have followed the rules and the steps to success also become successful themselves. So what I have found after 130 authors is that I have found that those people who have really taken this and created amazing businesses for themselves, we end up coming on par and we end up going, well, you're doing cool stuff. You've become now a person of influence because of what we did together. And how can I now we start to become joint venture from coach and client, if you want to call it coach and client relationship, to now becoming joint venture partners and people who can bounce ideas from each other because that's what the power is, I think, because you always talk about this, Francesca, is together we're stronger. Alone we're not going to we can do well, but not quite take it to the levels you can when you're collaborating with others.
And why would you when you can have so much fun by doing things together and share ideas and go further and faster?
Because we're tribal people, we're not people to be solo. Even though we can be solopreneurs, we're still not solo.
Yes. And adding to the volunteers, seriously, like the volunteers love to volunteer for us. They learn so much, like you were saying. And it's about them being seen as a person of influence as well. Every time I get volunteers, they get business. It's really fascinating to watch, and I love it for them. They always get business because they get seen as closer to us.
Yeah, James, who's our IT crew at our retreat, he gets so much business from just building rapport with the people that he hangs out with at retreat, and it's so natural. It's nothing like this hard pitch or whatever. He just goes around helping people with their techie stuff, and because he helps people with their techie stuff, they kind of go, well, James, can you help me more further outside of this experience? And that's how it builds, and everyone, it's just win, win, win.
Yes.
Yeah. And the last thing I'm going to say around this was how does this get bums on seats is, well, your Raveing fans are going to talk about your events to other people. You should check out Nat's event, go to her preview event. Also my Raveing fans, of course, will be all my authors, and they, in effect, become affiliates of our program. So we actually have kickback bonus referrals to go back to them. Oh, my God, that smells so good. Her mum must be getting lunch ready, and all the smells are coming here.
She's cooking pasta with tomato sauce today. My favorite.
I just smell. I'm going to keep smelling. All right, yummo. I'm so hungry. Okay, cool. Let's go to the last one.
All right. So now we're talking about
scaling up.
Sorry, about scaling up. Yes. So it's you start.
You get a cough.
Oh my goodness.
It's all the smell that's actually coming in as well. So scaling up, as I said, was about utilizing the next level. So going now from a warm market, because at a certain point in time, everyone that you kind of know and kind of knows you is going to have attended your events. So you're going to run out of that warm market, like, from networking and running attending all the events and people getting to know you on social media, there's a certain point in time you're just going to use up that warm network.
Yes.
And we should always be warming up cold people, right? There should be this constant cycle. But if you're going to run as many events, or you want to run as many events as we do, and even if you want to run half or a third of what we do, you're still going to.
How many you've done this year?
75. So it's you're still going to run out of those people. So scaling things up is where you make a decision whether or not you're going to do some advertising, because advertising is going to, of course, cost money, but it's going to attract people who've never heard about you. So you maybe share some of your tips now.
Yes. So when I wanted to do Facebook ads, of course, who would I go to ask? I go to someone that's doing well already on Facebook, which is, of course, Natasa. So I asked her, what are you using? And I engaged the same people, and we start to work together. And what is really important that sometimes people look at the results straight from the ad. What I found that I was getting a lot of business from it, just from people seeing my ad. And then
exposure.
Exposure. And then they will start to follow me on my personal profile, and I will build enough trust, enough live videos, enough content, that then they will buy from my own advertising, not from the Facebook advertising. So sometimes people look at numbers too much and not listen to the clients. Because I always ask my clients when I come to my half-day workshop, where did you hear about me? And they say, oh, you keep popping up with these ads. So then I start to follow you, and that's how I come here. So it's always important to realize that there's never enough exposure. You need to be everywhere. And this is how it is. So the first point was ask who is doing already well and who they use them, and just engage with them. And then I found that, you want to add something to it?
No.
Then I found that replying to every single comments to your ads, right? So there's some people that said they just maybe tag someone else. That's what usually
they always tag.
They always tag someone else to say, you might be interested in this, right? So you want to reply to every of those comments and say thank you
for the referral.
So both of the people will see twice the notification on the notification, so they're not gonna miss it. It's impossible, because if they miss it once, you put it again, so they're gonna see it eventually. And we both saw that that's really a little good strategy that you don't even need to do it yourself. You can just delegate it to your assistant and say, just every time you see that post, just say thank you. If people reply, of course, then you want to jump in and be the one that talks to them. That was really powerful. And then it's what I do straight away when people comment or tag someone, I go in and friend them and send them a private message, say thank you so much for commenting on my ad. I would love to know more about your business. And when you say that, people will go, oh wow, that's interesting. So they're gonna friend you back, and that's how, when they're friend with you, then they can escape you, and they're gonna see what you do, and they're gonna hear from you, they're gonna talk to you. It's really important to be friend with people, because you're gonna be able to build that trust.
Yeah, I love it. Beautiful. So I want to talk about, when we talk about scaling up, and you're right, exposure is huge. The return on investment, yes, it can be measured, and I have this amazing spreadsheet where because I'm spending close to $60,000 to $80,000 of Facebook advertising per year. So that's a lot. But my return on investment is into the seven figures, right? So it's totally worth it, and I can measure it that way. But what you just said is the brand awareness. Sometimes people go, Nat, you come up so much in my newsfeed, and I tried to hide you, and then you come up again. I don't know how you do that, right? And I go, well, because I pay for the right to be shown. And so what that means, it ingrains this mark in people's brain of ultimate 48-hour author, even to the point where one of our tribe, Bums and Seeds tribe, I stayed into her home through Airbnb in Sydney. And when I walked into the house, she said, oh, you do business, what's your business about? And I said, oh, look, ultimate 48-hour author. She goes, oh my God, I know who you are. I've seen your stuff on Facebook. And this is like how far it's gotten to that my Airbnb host had known about my business. So exposure and that sort of being in the presence without actually even seeing return on investment, say in dollars, in terms of how many people are coming to my events, is huge, because everything just sort of happens. You're creating those multiple touch points that you wouldn't have had the opportunity to do so. So how do you know if you're ready? Well, I always say is if you can risk around $10,000 to start the testing and measuring and engage someone professional. So I don't believe this is a do-it-yourself task. I believe you need to have someone who knows what the algorithms are, knows how to target audiences, can create awesome, pretty pages so that you look super professional. Then I know people who've done it themselves and have gotten some results, and good on you, and keep doing it. If you're getting a result, keep doing it. I know when I tried it myself, it didn't work. So now that I have got my guy, I've been working with him for over 2 years. I have to say in the first 6 months, hey, there was dribs and drabs here and there, and there was a lot of money that kind of I felt like, oh my God, like just money's just leaking out, and I'm not getting that return on investment. But the point is, there has to be a certain period of time that you have to test and measure things. What works, what doesn't, how do we do this? What's going to work better, and what's working now that didn't work yesterday, or, keep adjusting and being an active participant in the whole Facebook advertising relationship that you have with your expert. So it's not like, here, give this person a certain amount of money per month and a certain amount of ad spend per event. It's about working collaboratively with them and going, what's working, how are we going, and keep asking and managing that together with them. So a few things that worked with us, and I'll just give you some of these ideas, were like at one point in the early days, about 6 months in, we were sort of advertising one event in Sydney and nothing was happening. We had just spent close to $1,000 in spend and no one person bought a ticket. And I thought, oh my God, I don't want to spend that much money and not even get anything for it. So what I did is I utilized my book, Ultimate 48-Hour Author, as the lead magnet, which meant I set up page 1 as a lead magnet. Hey, get a free book, Ultimate 48-Hour Author book, whole 160 pages now. So when they opt in, I get an email on my database, which meant the money wasn't wasted because every email is so valuable. And then the second page would pop up and go, hey, thanks for downloading the ebook. Did you know Natasa's coming to your city to do this particular event, which is in line with the book? And then either people would book in, or if not, that stay on my database, which meant I would then market to them. And at a certain point in time, they will turn up to an event in the future and tell me now they've been following me and getting my emails. So that was one thing that would change, that grew our list at about 500 people per month. It was astonishing. We're getting 65% conversion, which is 65 people left their details for every 100 people that hit that ad. If you know anything about Facebook advertising, that's astronomical. Like 15% is your average, 30% you're doing absolutely amazing, and we were getting 65%. My Facebook guy was like going, oh my God, I don't know what's going on. But it was an amazing lead magnet as well. Okay, the second thing is in the last 12 months, they were running sponsored blogs. So I would write a blog and then we would write and run ads to them for a certain period of time. When we say we had a 6-week lead up, we would write ads to the sponsored blog for 2 weeks, which means those people who've read the blog would get pinned. There's these pixels that the Facebook experts know how to put on people. And then when we re-advertise towards the event, those that saw and clicked on the blog post would actually get shown and advertise that event. So it's almost my stuff will be following them around social media, which meant that, okay, now this is popping up again. Yep, I was interested in this. And then I would get higher ticket purchases. And the last one is what worked really well was also in the last 12 months is testimonial videos from our authors. So we would run a testimonial video and then there'll be the call to action to come to the event, because video has become so powerful lately. Yeah. But so we've changed through the strategies and we keep testing and measuring what works. But realistically, there wasn't very big results in the first 3 to 6 months. Like it was costing me $200-300 to get a person in the room. Whereas now we've got it right down, sometimes down to $40 and sometimes, as high as $120. But I can tell you, I have now this amazing spreadsheet where I document how many people came, how many purchased from the ads, what do we spend, what was the earnings, because they're low ticket sales. So they're usually never in the positive. Sometimes they are. And then what was the return on investment? So what did I sell? What did I manage to convert? And how's that comparison to what am I, spending versus what am I earning from all that? So if you're going to do this, you got to be serious. And this is where you got to know your numbers. So that's my bottom thing. Bottom line. And last of all, as I said, please don't just hire someone and let them go off and do their own thing. Be curious as to how it's going, because this is where we're talking about astronomical spending, and it can go crazy if you're not got your sort of finger on the pulse. Okay, Terry's just saying boost the post or paid advert, which is more effective. Look, either or, it just depends what you're boosting. And most of the time we do paid adverts. Yeah, when we're at retreat and all that, we may boost some posts from the fan page to just get a little bit more exposure of what's happening at retreat, but generally paid adverts, Terry. Okay, guys, so if you have any questions now, we've got 10 minutes to go, as we said. Please post them in comments and all that sort of stuff. But we want to tell you what Francesca and I have got coming up. It's absolutely going to take all of this to the next level, because you agree that what we've done here is such a helicopter view of these topics. Yes, absolutely. Okay, so let's go inside of it. What we have coming up, and we've literally found our venue finally. So we've gone through all the 4 middle topics of what our system is about getting bums on seats. And we never teach you anything we don't do ourselves. Never. Always. So we have got a co-hosted masterclass that we will be running in October. And then we also have an online course that we created professionally, and quite a few people are part of our Bums on Seats Secret Tribe. So the online, the masterclass is coming up. It's 2 full days with us in the room. And as you can see, we have got a lot of energy and bubbliness around us. So you'll go away buzzing, It's going to be so much fun. It's going to be a lot of fun. We're going to come together on the 26th and the 27th of October, and it's going to be 9 to 5 in Doncaster in a very cozy little area. We can only take up to 80 people. We already have 40 registered. Now, if you're an author and you're listening to this webinar, please, you do not need to buy this ticket, because my authors get to come to these complimentary. And if you're a mafia, contact me, because you get a discount as well. So this is just, of course, because we add so much value into our high-end programs. So we just want to make sure that people are not buying something that they already get anyway. Yeah. So this courses like this for 2 days could easily cost into the thousands. So that's why we value this at $3,997. Plus you get both of us, and tickets are just $247. So what I'm going to do now is, in the chat box of this webinar, I'm going to post this link, so you can go along and check out the pretty page so this has not been advertised now on social, which it will be in the next month. We're going to start advertising it on ads, which means once that starts happening, that's it, boom, it's done and dusted. And secondly, what we wanted to show you is, let me just move this to the side. Wait before you click on there, because there's something better coming up. Wait. We're just going to tell you what everything is. So this is the masterclass. Now, the second thing is our video training and online course. So with our online course, which a lot of you guys purchased last month, we deliver 12 modules of each of those topics. Of course, we talk about 35 minutes on each topic, so way longer, with checklists, with downloadable resources, and of course our secret online group. So that's what you get with the course. So with the course, we ran an amazing special, which we're happy to repeat this month, and that is, of course, getting all the different modules, the videos, which are valued at $247 each, and we had amazing feedback about those. The checklists, which are at $97 each, and then the Facebook group, which is priceless support, because you've got us 24/7 on tap answering questions. Yes. Also, as a bonus, we decided last month, as we do this month, is to give away a copy of each of our books, the 48-Hour Author book and the Follow Me book, as an ebook. So 2 bonus books. So value, again, close to $4,000. And an investment of just $297 if you want the online course. So there's a link for that as well, which I'm going to post for you guys. So I'll be posting 3 links, and you can decide what you might want to join in on. So I'm just going to have to copy and paste all of this. Copy and then paste into the packages. Megan saying, Amen. Amen. But last of all, what we decided to do this month and take it up another notch is actually give you an absolute mega bundle. Okay, so let me flick through all of these things that were here. And the mega bundle
is the best thing ever.
Is everything. Okay, so the live training and the online course, absolutely everything that you saw, just under $8,000 value for just $397. So I quickly came together yesterday, but we're only going to do 10 for that one.
Yes.
Yes.
So this is like 2 full days with us plus 12 weeks of half an hour with us each week. When we go deep inside of all of it. So it's always good to have a refresh all the content that we share the 2 days, because the 2 days is going to be full on.
Yeah, so, absolutely full on. So I posted all of those links in there. So it's good to do the course before you come to the 2 day, because then you can come with, I guess, all your questions that have popped up without having the ability to ask us in the room. And this is just a fun photo of the last masterclass we ran. But what we want to do now is just have a look at. Amy says looking forward to it. She's coming and meeting you in person, Francesca. Yeah, she's a bubbly, fun person to be around with. So what other questions we want to know that you guys have for us of what you've heard today? Because I'm sure we have, talked.
Yes.
Haven't taken a breath. Okay, here we go.
Coming.
So, Deborah, when you say your personal profile, is that literally your profile with kids, family? So you need to open that up to your fans? Yep, I absolutely. Well, that's what I do. There's no other Natasa Denman on Facebook, but everything that I share, that I do with my family and in my life. But
that's the part that people want to see most, isn't it?
That's the part. And you talked about the fact that a lot of people, you say people who know me well and our family friends call me Cheska.
Yes.
And everyone wants to be friends with Cheska. They don't want to be just with Francesca. People actually really want to be part of what we live, what we do. They want to, I don't know, it's just human nature to want to
see the backs,
what happens behind the scenes.
Behind the scene, totally.
Yeah, I love it. Denise has got, do you have a deal for people who don't live in Melbourne to come to Melbourne? No, I think this deal is absolutely super cheap. Like actually this is, something, as I said, people pay thousands. And we've already got about 10 people coming from interstate. So this particular venue where we're hosting this also has the accommodation on site.
Yeah, and then Denise, once you purchase it, we will add you to the Bumsel Seat tribe, and you can ask for any accommodation or split the cost. So anyone that can have you in Melbourne, I'm sure a lot of people will be happy to have you there. So
yeah, absolutely. And Jenny, you're one of our authors. Jenny, you're one of our authors, so you do not actually have to pay for this. You just need to send me a quick message and I'll send it to my virtual assistant. If you want to come, you can just come because it's part of your big package. Awesome. Excellent. So let me just go here. Perfect. Okay, we've gone through most of the questions, but yeah, there is a special rates that the place has got, plus there's heaps of other, we runs out accommodation, there's heaps of other surrounding hotels that we can get accommodation for you guys organised. At the end of the day, I think it ends up being like if you twin share about $80 per person per night, and yeah, magnificent offer. Thank you. Thanks, Wendy. Thank you for being on the call. So I think we've covered off everything that we needed to say. We did have one last little quote to share. That success occurs when your dreams get bigger than your excuses. So you have a dream of running live events, of being seen as a person of influence, of having the influence to get and build your business one to many. This information must be mastered, because there's nothing more powerful than reaching and being in the room physically with people. You're going to bypass years of needing to build those online relationships. You're going to fast track everything, and have opportunities that you'd never dreamt possible.
And if you're afraid of it, that's when you got to do it.
Yeah, if it scares you, it makes you feel sick. Sick means go. And stand up and do the stuff. You are the start of my dream, which is finally coming true after 37 years from Jenny.
Go, Jenny.
Thank you, Jenny. Awesome. So it's been wonderful to catch up with you guys. Oh my God, let's go eat this yummy food that I keep smelling. I've been hungry every 3 or 4 hours.
So
it's been
good.
crazy.
Mum is spoiling us and cooking for us and all that.
Yes.
Thank you for having us. Sorry for me coughing and
I think you only did
sneezing.
4 or 5.
Really?
Yeah.
That's good.
Yeah. Denise, another question. Ever going to run your events in Sydney? Only my preview event, and I think you do your preview events there.
Yes.
I am finished with Sydney for 2016. I went there twice this year, but we're not going to do 2-day events. We might run a 2-day up in Brisbane,
Yes,
which is where Francesca lives, but Melbourne is our hometown. So basically, guys, people who want to hang out. So when you get to the point of where we are in business, people travel to do business with us, and actually people come like on the outskirts of Melbourne, where I live in Diamond Creek, and they travel. We had a person travel 7 hours the other day. People have come all the way from Perth for 1-day events. Last year I had the VIP marketing days, and I had one person from Perth, one person from Canberra, one person from Brisbane, one person from Sydney, and one person from Adelaide. I had 5 interstate people, 5 Melbourne people for a 9 to 5 event in my house. So, and this year I've got the same thing happening. 2 people coming from Brisbane. If you build your profile, your credibility, your brand, you will be able to get people to travel any distance to do the work. And at the end of the day, if your dream is big enough and you want to learn from us, you'll find the way, right?
Yes,
not
absolutely.
an excuse.
Denise, I will be in Sydney in October for my last half-day workshop of the year in Sydney.
Do you know what day?
No.
Probably around the 26th when you're coming. You're leaving.
I think it's around 10 or 12, but I'll let you know. I'll let you know.
Have us some buka. No, we're going to have some red wine. We've been having red wine with most meals. Not her. She's still sick.
I'm still sick.
If the money will come, I feel it in my bones. Love it. Awesome. Thank you, Jenny. Thank you, everybody, for being on the call. Our holiday, actually, now, this was our last engagement that we had to finish. So we're officially starting now. We'll get those recordings up and sent through emails. We can't wait to connect with those of you that are already joining us. I can see stuff is flashing up on our phones, and they're buzzing and beeping. So we look forward to helping those that have resonated with us, and those that haven't. Well, all the best to you guys, and thank you for being on the call tonight. Thank you, Sabine. Thank you, lovely. Thanks, Trudy.
Thank you.
We will have a wonderful time shopping tonight.
Yay!
Bye, guys.